What is the saddest thing you have experienced? A student took his own life at my high school, a very bright student whom I admired greatly because he was extremely intelligent and very easygoing. The final note was found later, revealing that the reason was that a particular teacher, who was in charge of not only high school students, but also middle school students, had been giving substances to students and committing intimate crimes against students for years. The note gave information of how to find the evidence of this to get the teacher incarcerated, as well as, from what I heard, a detailed and graphic description of one of their personal incidents. He had gotten away with it for so long because he had convinced the victims to try the drugs and told them afterwards that if they told anyone he would make it look like the victims were in the wrong with experimenting with drugs. The teacher also had favorites that he would keep close to him and mistreat repeatedly. Once this all came out, a SWAT team had to escort him to a high-security prison to keep him away from the very, very angry families who had been affected by this because mountains of threats came flooding in. It was a huge ordeal for the town. Outside counselors were brought in, and I know I was singled out by one because I had realized the day before that the student in question was planning something and I missed them before school let out for the day, so I assumed I would get to talk to them about it the next day. Once the news came out during a meeting, I fled the auditorium and was wrangled by counselors and brought into an office to talk about it. They were catching fleeing students to make sure that they weren't victims, but luckily the counselor that caught me realized I just blamed myself for not catching him before he did what he did. Once everything started to settle, students who had been affected were given the option to graduate early because of the stress, and the school understood the students would have awful memories on campus. The last count I had heard of was close to 200 victims over multiple counties he had taught at.